In the first reading today, St. Paul tells us that our citizenship is in heaven. And again, we've heard this how many times, but we really need to ponder this truth. Our citizenship is in heaven. Yes, we are citizens of the United States. This is very short term. At the most, maybe 100 years or so. Heaven is for eternity. And it's not just a matter that, well, I guess, we're here now and we'll be going there. No, it is a matter that God has chosen you from before the world was even made for himself. Remember, God knows everything in one thought. So before anything was created, God knew everything that was going to happen in the history of the world. He knew that you were going to be created, and he knew you were going to be created now, in this time and in this place. And he called you to himself. He chose you for himself. If we would only just begin to glimpse the dignity that God has given us, we would truly live our lives in a whole different way. St. Paul points out the fact that there are these people who are interested in worldliness. Well, unfortunately, a lot of them are citizens of heaven, but they don't know their dignity, and so they're immersing themselves into the worldliness of earth. Why? When we are called to be with angels, why do we want to wallow in the mud like a bunch of pigs? It doesn't make any sense unless we don't know our dignity, unless we don't really believe what it is that we say and who we are. Think just for a minute. In a few minutes, we're going to pray the Pater Noster. To call God Father, that is absolute, pure, unadulterated arrogance, unless it's true. Who would ever have the audacity to stand before God and call him your Father, unless he has chosen you for himself and made you his Father? Made him your Father. And he's made himself your Father because you are incorporated into his Son. You're a member of Jesus Christ. You participate in the divine nature. You have divine life. All of these things that God has given. And we want to be earthly? We want to fit in down here? We want to be like this? For what? Where is it all going to lead? We know what's going to happen to the world. It's all going to be gone. It's all going to be burned up. Is that what you want? There's a place where people are burning. You don't want to be there. You're a citizen of heaven. And we're supposed to live in this world as citizens of heaven. And you think about it for a minute. If there's someone from a different country, or even from a different part of our country, and they come up here, or you go there, what's the first thing you notice? Their accent. And you look at them and say, "You're not from here, are you? Where are you from?" Because their accent gives them away. So should ours. We're from heaven. It should be so blatantly obvious to everyone in the world that you're not like them. They should be looking at you and going, "Where are you from?" But unfortunately for most of us, that never happens. Because we live like the people of the world. Because we're more interested in worldly things than in heavenly things. if we're citizens of heaven, isn't that where we want to be? Isn't that where we want to spend our eternity? When I was at St. Agnes, we had a deacon there who was from London. And twice a year, he went back to London for the primary purpose of keeping up his accent. Because he didn't want to sound like he was from Minnesota, he wanted to sound like he was from London. Maybe we need to think about something like that. Our citizenship is in heaven. We should be acting like citizens of heaven. We need to make frequent visits. Obviously, we can't quite get there at this point, but we've got heaven right in front of us. We need to become like him so that we can live like him, so that we can be with him for eternity. Heaven has come to earth in order to bring earth to heaven. So we need to stop living the worldly way and start living a heavenly way. Yes, we have to live in this world. Yes, we have to deal with the things of this world. I'm not saying anything different from that. I'm just simply saying, let's not live in a worldly way, a sinful way, a way of fitting in with the social mores of our society, because they're corrupt and they're not good for us. So again, just to think for a moment, what does that really mean to say our citizenship is in heaven? Because that's who you are. You are a citizen of heaven. And that's what the Lord wants everybody to recognize. That's why he said, you're the light of the world. You can't be hidden. You're put out there so everybody can see it. We keep trying to cover it up. We keep trying to act like we're not from heaven, but we're just earthly. That's not what we're supposed to be. So take that to prayer. Look at the reality of who you really are, who God has made you to be, who he has called you to be. He has chosen you as his own. And he wants you to be able to spend eternity with him. But if we're going to spend eternity in heaven, then we have to live our life on earth with our focus on heaven.